Hey folks, it's Chad Smith from Remote Access Post, and today I wanted to go over some workflows that I have for working with DSLR footage. Now, everybody knows DSLR is great for acquiring video, but can be a bit of a hassle once you get it into your NLE. As soon as I copy my footage off my SD card, the first thing I do is transcode to ProRes. I'm an Apple guy, I'm cutting in Final Cut Pro. Just go to ProRes and I know that stuff is going to play down fine. It's going to be so much easier to work with than an H.264 variant. One of the things about shooting DSLR is that you've got these file names that are totally cryptic and have absolutely nothing to do with what your project is about. So we come over here and you're going to end up with, file names like this. So at this point, I've brought my media in from my SD card and I've transcoded it using clip wrap. I just brought my files in here, have it go to a clip wrap transcode folder, Apple ProRes, Final Cut Pro 10, source frame rate, and I'm set to go. It's real nice. It's multi-threaded right now, and it really just blasts through the footage, and it's totally worth the time on the front end. So now we've got our transcoded media, but we've got these cryptic file names. So what I do is I go into name changer, and now we've got name changer. As its name implies, it changes the name of things. So what we do here is we select all our files, we'll bring it in to name changer, and then select sequence. Then with sequence selected, we'll come up with the sequence name. We've brought our John Doe interview footage into our transcoded media. We've brought into our John Doe interview folder. So then we'll name this sequence name is going to be John Doe interview, and we'll put a space at the end there so it gives us a little space here. I know I'm not going to have over 100 clips, so I'd rather go with just 02, and I'm going to start with number 1 because 0 is for computer people. So clip 1 is 1, etc. Now we'll go down here and I'm going to replace the entire file name. So you can see that here's our old file name and our new human-friendly John Doe interview. Then we can come over here and we will click rename. So now we're going to rename our files, but it's going to be removing the extension. So we can click remove extension. This way we can have it be John Doe interview with the clip number at the back end. So it's easier to sort in the NLE. With John Doe and then the clip number afterwards, and it won't let us keep the .mov, but that's not a problem. We've come down here, we're going to open up a new name changer. We've changed our name here, but we don't have our .mov extension. Not a problem. We'll just go up here, bring our files in, and click append, and then we will append was .mov, and then there we go. Our new files are now named John Doe interview 1 through 4. This is great. So now we've renamed all our clips for our John Doe interview. However, none of these clips have timecode, and that's really going to be the second half of our workflow here. So we go into a little program called QuickTime Change, and we drag our files in, and we can see that everything starts as you would expect with 0 in the timecode. So we can come up here and we're going to add or change timecode track. I know that the John Doe interview was the 8th interview in our little project here, so I'm going to use the hour 8 timecode just to sort of help me sort again. This all leads back to helping you get through all your footage and making each clip just be more unique in its file name, more unique in its timecode, and therefore with the uniqueness makes it easier to find once you're looking at a large project with hundreds of clips and hours of footage. So now we've got our hour 8, we've got that set, so we're going to change our time code, and then we can look down here and our files have been updated. We already have our John Doe interview in the reel column, but we'll select here and we'll alter existing reel name, and then we'll see John Doe interview populates here under our reel heading. There's some other workflows in here. There's a THM. You can bring this in if you shoot Canon. I don't shoot Canon, so I'm not real familiar with this. You've also got display settings. You can do a nice thing where you can do a window burn now that we've got timecode on here. One nice thing would be to perhaps do a string out, send that to the producer. The producer can go watch the clips down and actually take notes in reference to timecode, and it's much more helpful, obviously, than if we hadn't gone through this step. In my experience, the burn timecode seems to only play back in QuickTime 7. QuickTime 10 doesn't seem to work, but perhaps I'm doing something wrong. So now we've done this, and we're going to click Do It. One thing to remember is that this is destructive. So if you've got clips, say you're working in Premiere Pro or you're working in Final Cut Pro 10, you've got clips that you're working with already in your project, and then you decide that, hey, wouldn't it be great if I had timecode on all this stuff? It's really kind of getting out of hand, and all of a sudden we've got all this footage. If you come in and try to do this after the fact, these clips are not going to relink back to your original media that you've got in your project already. That's just the way it is. So this really needs to be done on the front end before you start bringing your clips into your NLE. So we haven't done that, so we're all good. We're going to click Do It, and we're going to click Yes because we want to do that. And then we can see that our John Doe interview clips have updated here below. Just to get timecode on your clips can also be very helpful. In Premiere Pro, for instance, if you are shooting with a DigiSlate and you're shooting your DSLR, you're not getting the timecode on there. So once you bring that clip into Premiere Pro, there's no timecode track for Premiere Pro to access to modify. So this way, with using Qt Change, you can at least get a timecode track on your footage, bring it into Premiere Pro, and then modify the timecode once in there to sync up with your DigiSlate or whatever timecode source that you may have. Alright, so now we've got our clips, they're named properly, and we've got timecode on there. Let's see what that looks like in Final Cut 10. So we'll come over here, we've got our John Doe interviews event here. We'll bring John over and drop it on that event. And our clips come in, and we can see that indeed our timecode starts at 8. And John Doe interview is our reel. So there you have it. Timecode and reel names on DSLR footage. It's going to make your life so much easier. This has been Chad Smith from Remote Access Post. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.